This question might be the most important one you'll ever ask. What does Jesus want me to know? Not what religion says, not what the world yells, but what he whispers. When the noise finally fades, when the pain gets too loud, when your heart is tired of guessing and just needs truth. So, if you're here right now, if you've been scrolling, searching, hoping that somehow someone would say what your soul can't even put into words, stop, breathe, because this might be the moment you've been needing. This isn't just a message, it's a conversation, a sacred one, between you and the God who knows you. Let me tell you what Jesus wants you to know, not just from a pulpit, not through a sermon packed with theology, but through something far deeper, love. Jesus wants you to know you're seen, not just glanced at, not skimmed like a status update, but truly seen. In the places where you cry quietly, where you question everything, where you feel like no one is coming to help, you are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not invisible in the crowd of this chaotic, busy, scrolling world. Even when it feels like everyone has passed you by, even the people you trusted to stay, Jesus pauses. He stops. He turns toward you when others turn away. Even when it feels like your prayers are falling into a black hole, even when the silence in your room gets so loud it drowns your own thoughts, he's there. Not absent, not indifferent, but quietly listening, gently present, heartbreakingly close, because his love, it doesn't run on your timeline. It doesn't need your perfect behavior. It doesn't shrink back when you fall short. His love is not in a rush to fix you. It's patient enough to heal you. And if you're breaking right now, I mean really breaking, Jesus wants you to know something holy. He's not scared of your mess. He's not frustrated by your confusion. He's not disappointed by your weakness. He's near, not just watching from a distance. He's right there, sitting in the ashes with you, holding the broken pieces you're too tired to pretend aren't shattered, and whispering, even here, I love you. You see, the world will try to sell you a version of strength that looks like silence. They'll tell you to smile through the pain, to keep pushing, to keep pretending. But Jesus, he does the opposite. He invites you to collapse into his arms. He invites the tears. He holds space for the doubt. He says, come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Not a pep talk, not a formula, a father. And I know what it's like to feel too far gone, to feel like your faith has holes in it, to feel like maybe God's love is for other people, the stronger ones, the cleaner ones, the ones who don't fall apart. But that's not the gospel. That's not Jesus. Because Jesus doesn't run toward the strong, he runs to the ones on the floor. He steps into the stories no one else wants to touch. He walks into the shame we're too afraid to show, and he calls you by name, not your mistake. Let that sink in. He calls you by name, not your failure, not your addiction, not your divorce, not your anxiety, not your past, but your name. Because he knows who you really are, not the version you perform, not the mask you wear to survive, but the heart underneath, the child inside, the dreamer who stopped dreaming, and he's not done with you. Let me say it again, slowly. For the soul that stopped hoping, he's not done with you. This valley, it's not your ending. It's a turning. This pain, it's not your punishment. It's a doorway. This silence, it's not a rejection. It's a setup for a deeper revelation. And I know that's a lot to take in. So pause here with me. Let it breathe. Let it land. Because someone listening right now, you're at the edge. You've been holding on by a thread, and this might be the one moment that pulls you back from giving up. This isn't hype. This is holy. This is where grace steps in, not with fireworks, but with presence. Quiet, steady, rescuing presence. So breathe again. Not because everything's fixed, but because you're not carrying it alone anymore. And if you're listening to this with tears in your eyes or a lump in your throat, I need you to hear this clearly. God hasn't changed his mind about you. You are still his. You are still chosen. You are still called. You are still loved. And no mistake you've made, no detour you've taken, no season of silence you've walked through can change the way he feels about you. Because his love isn't performance-based, it's presence-based. And right now, in the middle of your questions, in the center of your confusion, in the ruins of whatever broke you, his presence is here. So let go. Let go of the weight. Let go of the shame. Let go of the lie that says you have to be perfect to be loved. Jesus didn't come for the perfect. He came for the wounded. He came for the tired. He came for you. So if this touched your soul, if it found you at just the right moment, don't keep it to yourself. Drop a comment that simply says, "He sees me," because he does, and you're not alone. Subscribe to Jesus-Elated Faith for more real, raw, hope-filled truth like this, because someone else out there is silently breaking, and your share might just become their rescue. You're not forgotten. You're not too far, and you're not too late. You are seen, you are known, you are held, you are loved, and he's still writing your story. Let him. Psalm 34:18 says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Not just bruised, crushed. You ever been there? I mean really crushed? When life doesn't just sting, it suffocates. When you're not just hurting, you're unraveling. When every breath feels like a battle and the weight pressing on your chest isn't just emotional, it's spiritual. And the only prayer you have left in you is silence. A tear sliding down your cheek. A sigh when no one's listening. That's the place where most people think God walks away, but that's where he draws closest. See, we've been told that God shows up in the good, in the clean, in the victorious. But Psalm 34:18 flips that completely. It says, he's near the brokenhearted. He saves the crushed, not the ones with polished prayers, not the ones with curated faith, not the ones who have it all figured out, but the shattered, the forgotten, the one sitting on the bathroom floor at 2 a.m., asking God if he's still king, if he still sees, if he still speaks. And I need you to hear this. Really hear it. In the places you've kept silent for too long, Jesus is closest right there. Not when you're perfect, not when you've stitched your wound shut with performance, not when you've built a testimony worth telling, right there. In your lowest, ugliest, most undone moment, he leans in. He doesn't back away. He kneels down. He wraps his presence around your pain like a blanket around a shivering soul. And he doesn't say fix it first. He says, let me carry this with you. Because Jesus doesn't run from pain. He runs to it. He doesn't avoid the places that scare you. He steps into them. He doesn't flinch at your scars. He touches them. Like he did with Thomas when he said, put your finger here, see my hands. He doesn't reject your doubt. He meets you inside it. He doesn't scold your fear. He holds you through it. That addiction you've been hiding, he already knows. He's not shocked. He's not disappointed. And he's not walking away. That depression you don't talk about, the heaviness that lingers even after the worship music stops, he sees it. He weeps with you in it. And he still chooses you. That fear that's been paralyzing your next step, the one that whispers, you're too broken, too far gone, too much. He's standing in that fear with you, not condemning you, but gently whispering, I'm here, keep going. And I know sometimes it feels like he's silent, like the heavens are made of stone, like your prayers bounce back with no echo. But even in that silence, he is moving, because his presence is not always loud. Sometimes it's the stillness that keeps you from giving up. Sometimes it's the strength you can't explain. Sometimes it's the fact that you're still here, even after everything, that proves he never left. Friend, you are not too far. You are not too broken. You are not disqualified from his love. If anything, your pain is what qualifies you for the closeness you've been aching for. God is drawn to the crushed, not because he delights in your suffering, but because he's the only one strong enough to hold it without dropping you. He's the only one gentle enough to enter the mess without judgment, the only one holy enough to touch your shame and turn it into healing. And I know there's a voice in your head that says, "But I've failed too many times. I've let him down." Hear me, you were never holding him up. You can't disappoint a God who already knew the end from the beginning. He factored in your failures and still said, "I want them, I choose them, I'll die for them." So if you're at your lowest, don't run, don't numb it, don't pretend. Just open your hands and say, "Jesus, I need you," because he's already there. Closer than your breath, closer than your tears, closer than the secret wound you've never spoken out loud. And he's not just near to the brokenhearted. He saves them, lifts them, heals them, holds them until they can stand again. And maybe you can't stand yet. Maybe you're still crawling through the rubble. That's okay. You don't have to be strong right now. You just have to be honest. You just have to let him love you in the middle of the wreckage. Because his love isn't waiting for your resurrection moment. His love shows up in your graveyard seasons and calls life out of what looks dead. So if this message touched something deep in you, if it cracks something open that's been locked away too long, I want you to know this. You're not alone. And you're not beyond rescue. Drop a comment right now. He's still with me. Let someone else scrolling know they're not forgotten either. Share this with the one who's smiling on the outside but falling apart behind closed doors. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Jesus Elated Faith, because we're not here to perform faith. We're here to live it, bleed it, heal in it. You're not disqualified. You're in the exact place where grace begins. So let him come close. He already is.